Gonna be. All right. Yes, you're live, it says. How's everybody? I have a terrible setup right now. I'm just gonna roll with it because I just want to get the video out. Okay, so hold on. This is just not okay. Let me see if I can't make this a little bit better. Let me go sit on this chair. My son put all this stuff on the chair here because he likes to air dry certain things. It's nice though, that air. Okay. I opened the window. Yeah, so I'm just sitting on my son's jeans. I don't even care, guys. In all honesty, I'm so excited to bring this through. It's about the message. I know I should care a little bit more about the way that I'm set up, but the message is coming. I'm bringing the message. Let's go. Okay, you got to do things imperfectly, especially when inspiration strikes. Okay, so today I spent the day doing a bunch of errands, and my name is Aasha, Aasha Account. I work with men and women to help them get into their body and come back to their health and their emotional health. And what I do is energy work. So you can listen to, I'm going to take all this stuff off because my son's clothes are here. I don't want to disrespect his clothes. I just threw him on the thing. I'm like, I don't want to disrespect his clothes. I didn't want to sit on them. Okay, so you can do all the mindset work that you want, all of the manifestation. I know this is probably a pain. Oh, there goes my microphone. Okay, bear with me because it's going to be a good one. You can do all the manifestation techniques that you want. You can do all the mindness stuff that you want. You can learn all the emotional intelligence that you want. But if you are not changing your energy, you are not going to receive what it is that you want as far as the peace in the mind. And you know, I listen to so many practitioners, so many teachers, so many people on the internet, and there's no discussion of energy work. It's almost put into this esoteric or weird woo-woo box, even though people like have no problem talking about ayahuasca or like taking shrooms or, you know, going down and doing peyote or whatever. But or drinking alcohol, but when it comes to energy work, it borderlines on woo-woo. And my role is to not have that happen anymore. I am so beyond the realm of not knowing what energy work does to people that I see it every day in my clients. I see it every day in the people that I work with. You know, they go to psychology, they go to therapists for years, sometimes decades. They can't get rid of the heartbreak. They can't get rid of this. And the reason this is because it lodges in the energy field and it causes a leak in your energetic field. It causes a leak in your system. So I want the name of this episode 2, Aasha Healing Show, is how do we actually get men back at the helm in the household? How do we actually do this? There's so many interweaved distortions. The truth, and this is my truth, is men and women have equal power, and the father is the head of the household. We are desperate for the father. Okay, I'm talking the present, loving, strong, safe. I don't even like the word strong anymore. Resilient, safe, amazing father in the United States. When we do not have that, we have distorted patriarchy, distorted feminism, distorted feminine embodiment, right? That's like a little too like weak. And we also have distorted, emasculated men. So men with mother wounds, okay? And if you're single watching this, you know, you might still be having resentment and you're wondering, why am I not attracting what I want to attract? So what we have done so much, and this is really where I know that men's mental health is suffering because of the lack of the information that I'm going to share in this video. There's so many amazing leaders and men helping other young men to step into the role of the man in the family, the role of the one who takes responsibility for who he is. And the very real truth is it's not as easy as just taking action and being this man or following your purpose or, you know, learning psychology. Sometimes it requires some deeper understanding of what's going on inside of you because let's say you have a goal and you want to get to that goal. Okay. So let me use myself as an example. I do a ton of energy work. Like I'm consistently working on my energy. I'm always like taking care of my energy, and I'm very, very self aware, even deeper than most people. I am in a state of I'm in a state of taking everything and turning it inside. I don't believe that men, take forever to grow. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, you know, um, men are at fault or women are at fault. I just believe that I'm the creator of my reality. And when you are in that space, yeah, you start taking action toward your goal as a man or a woman in what we call, which is one area of emotional intelligence, your intentionality gets locked in. You get locked into taking the action. Now, when you have energy leaks, something outside of you is going to happen, and it's going to start affecting the way that you are intentional about your action. So let's say you're real intentional about your action, and you're like, let's say you're a basketball star and you start taking all this action toward basketball, and then all of a sudden a woman comes in and she gets you going and she starts to arouse you, and you like try to fight it, but then you jump on board with this woman, and the next thing you know, you're like lost yourself in her, and you've lost your scholarship for basketball because she like broke your heart. So we have a choice, and this is why my book is called The Empath is the Narcissist. We have a choice as a man. Make her the problem, yeah, easy path, or become the creator of your existence. And know on a deeper, more spiritual or fundamental, or you can even say fundamental, it really is very simple. You called her in. You were the one that said, hey, girl, this is like way up in the wherever, right before we come down to earth. Hey, Sally, let's get down to earth and let's play it out. And you're going to break my heart. And then I'm going to get mad at you. But I'm going to work with Asha T, and I'm going to deal with my resentment. I'm going to deal with my rejection, deal with my abandonment, deal with my mother wound. And I'm going to heal it as fast as I possibly can, because I know that when I heal it, I seal up a leak. And when I seal up the leak, I align to a much cleaner, more beautiful woman. My discernment turns on. I become the one that gets to choose. I become the one who's monitoring women and choosing who aligns for me. Okay. And then in that space, the woman is either going to, grow with you, allow that to happen, become the solid force that you want. Because as a man leader, you don't want a woman that you can control. You want a woman who has her own sovereignty and her own belief system in conjunction with yours, because you have your own. So if you're afraid, you'll start to want to control her. And then if she's afraid, she's going to want to control you. So you kind of have to work off of one another. And in this space, she will trust you immensely, or she will resonate away. So that always comes down to a very fundamental, easy thing to understand. You're a ball of energy. Now, everybody knows this, right? This is as easy as it gets. Everybody knows your energy, right? People will be like, energy is everything. Energy is everything. No. Energy is how many leaks we have and what we're willing to do to seal those leaks up. Because you can be a ball of energy, but if your mind is going over here, and then your mind is going over here, and your anxiety, and you're pissed off at your mother, or you're pissed off at your job, and you feel like, you can't, you have to be perfect before you take action, or you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. You are truly dealing with an energy leak, and that is going to affect your life's path. And then what ends up happening when we spend that time in the non taking of action, combined with changing your energy and changing the story, you are wasting time. You just begin to waste time. And I've done that many times. Okay. So where I've turned around and I've gone, holy shit, this is not what I wanted. This is not who I want to be. This is not what I wanted to create. And, it took me a while to get lessons. It took me almost like 18 or 19 years for the first time. And I don't want that for any man or woman. So when we say, let's say you're married and your wife is really controlling, or she's, you know, there's such disconnect in your relationship, or you're feeling like, there's no intimacy, you're not getting the respect that you deserve, you have to step back. You have to work on why that's happening. Okay. Now, the truth is obviously I can help you. We can do sessions. I can give you an action plan. If you want to hear more, just reach out. Okay. We can definitely get you moving in the right direction. But the second piece is that you need to understand as well that if you if you allow that to happen over and over and over again, it's going to end up as a life of regret because you are not connected to the source of who you are inside. Okay. So there's two different ways men go here. They go complacent and they just end up in these relationships, or they go the opposite end, which is just as awful, which is multiple women and like feeding and just being that, that man that's like never grown up. It doesn't matter how old he is. It's like just can't seem to get himself to grow up. And that, the crazy thing is so much of this has to do with the feminine. She had the women in your life. So when you actually start to shape up, call in what you want, even if you're married, you say, I demand, from the source creator, from the the higher aspect, I demand I have a highly polarized relationship where I'm respected and I am honored as a man because I honor her and I want equal playing field. But you have to be ready as a man to flip everything inside. You have to flip everything inside. You got to learn how to take the pain that you're avoiding or you're projecting onto her or feeling that it's weak to talk about these things and feeling like it's a weakness to have emotions, and you got to work on it. Now, do I advise working on it with your partner? Absolutely not. I don't even advise that for my female clients. Say, why are you working it out with him? Just work it out on your own. And trust me, I've done this before. It's so silly. And you like, it's not each other's responsibility to deal with the problems. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have issues in the moment, but when you become a benevolent man, you don't want to change her and you don't want to lose your cool either. And that's, if there are women watching this as well, same thing goes for you. You cannot change him and lose your cool at the same time. Okay. Women, I give a little bit more leeway because I always think about myself here. I'm like, oh my God, I was a straight up lunatic. But to a man that wouldn't move, he was so solid in his emotional intelligence and his emotional capacity, but wounded me would be like, he's ignorant, he's avoidant, he's narcissistic, he's this, he's that. Sure. Do men have their shit? Of course they do. But when a man is screamingly contained in his energy, I'm talking huge levels of containment, he is going to be unshakable. So this is how we get men back at the helm. There's 5 leaks. I'm going to drop the link for the video that I have created. I don't know if you can still see me. I'm going to drop the link for the video that I created on the ROI blueprint that's going to talk to you about these 5 hidden leaks. I want you to write them down and I want you to start asking yourself, where are my leaks? Like, where are they? The one I most recently have been having to really meet is, it shows up and manifests as like not being seen or like not being enough. Okay. And like, that's a real man's wound. And this is the reason it's coming up is because I'm working with men. I'm now working with men and, you do so much and like, you just don't feel like you're ever going to be enough, or like things are going so good. And then all of a sudden someone comes in and like just fucking hits you with the truth. And you're like, oh my God, like it rocks you. It rocks you. And so when you move through that leak, it's like the core wound is not the behavior. So the behavior is, I'm going to push more and work more and work more and work more and chase and chase and chase and chase and chase and do and do and do and do and do. That's the behavior. And you're not getting the results. The wound underneath is something like, I don't feel safe to rest. I don't feel safe to feel. I don't feel safe in my body. I don't even know how to feel safe in my body. I don't even know how to be unplugged. I don't even know how to be enough. So when we have those stories that we're running on, which we all are, guys, nobody's void of these types of stories, but you don't have to live with them. You can clear them for the rest of your life, these thoughts that stand in the way of your greatness. So when you clear those thoughts, with energy work, which really, truly, honestly doesn't even need that much talking, you are speeding up the time to align so that you can be at the head of the household again. Okay? It is not about following a man and doing what he says works or what she says works. It's about saying, what's going on inside myself? It is beyond your self awareness. It is feeling your emotions and identifying your emotions in conjunction with the behavior that you do not love. That was actually really good. Try to rewind that if you can. So it's like, let's say you don't love the behavior of working, 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 you're not getting the results. The emotions around that might be frustration, they might be anger, they might be disappointment, they might be sadness, right? So those are the emotions that come up, and you're going to put the emotions to the story, or excuse me, to the behavior. And when you put the emotions to the behavior, the story starts to make itself known. The story starts to come up. It starts to go, okay, the reason I feel this way is because I have felt unsafe. I have felt chaotic inside my head. I felt isolated. I feel like I don't have anybody to talk to. I feel like nobody gets me. And I have felt all of those things. And it's not the best feeling. When I was leaving the women that I was working with, a few of them like not yelled, but like projected. And then a few of them, I'm just realizing this right now as I'm sharing this with you, just like blankly stare at me. And I was like, why are they doing this? And then I realized I used to do this with my husband. I used to do this in my first marriage. I would like blankly stare at him or even like get mad at him, like almost like I hated him. And you know what's crazy? Someone said this to me at the gym the other day. A man, he goes, I wouldn't be surprised if right now women are just looking at you like they don't like you. And it's kind of it's not 100% true. It's just that I'm not working with women. So it's actually much better for me because I get to just be in like, friendship and kindness and heart as opposed to like worrying about working with them or anything like this. But it actually made me be like, oh my God, is this how I'm just right now as I'm talking to you? Is this how men feel with a woman that thinks that, that they're a bad person or that they like, because I know men can see higher than us. Men can see higher than women. It's like this weird thing. It's like we need each other. Like the feminine can definitely see through the way that she feels, but the masculine, like no matter, I remember this one girl, like no matter how kind I was to her, she wasn't, you could tell she was like mad at me. And God, it's so crazy because the man at the gym who said that the other day, he actually was like, he goes, I think this is going to be like one of your major problems for the next few months is that these women just, he goes, I bet you they just look at you and they're like, oh, I can't stand her. And I was like, why did he say that? And now I'm realizing, I think that's because that's how men feel with their relationships and their partners. women look at, I remember distinctly feeling that way when I hated my inner masculine. I hated like my inner masculine so much that my partner used to say, it's like, you look at me like I'm a terrible person. I remember that now. And now it's just reminding me that that's what somebody said that's what I was thinking the other day when a woman she was like mad at me. It doesn't bother me, but at the same time, I am realizing this is like, how I work through things is I'm like, oh my God, wow. And just giving me more empathy for how men feel. And so, I think that there's like a lack of compassion in that place. There's a lack of healed compassion, which is not the same as compassion. Healed compassion is when you know where they're coming from and like you have no desire to change them, but like you you have compassion regardless. So it's like this beautiful thing. And you'll learn like, as a man, you have to really be super, super solid. You have to be. Because again, I think that we're in a season right now where it's required. It's required. You've got to work on your mother wounds. You got to work on your leaks. You got to work on your expectation of how women should be, who women should be, and focus so deeply on who you are as a man so that we can start getting more women activated into their femininity. Because the biggest gift for me into my femininity was a man that I couldn't control. So when a woman sees into a man's soul, if she sees your greatness and then she can't control you, we're going to watch the feminine start to really wake up. This is why I'm aligned to men right now. I can feel it in the middle of my belly. Anyway, I am so excited to work with you soon. Let me know if you need anything outside of this. Please leave a comment. Just getting this channel started. I'm also sitting here in the dark with like a major wrinkly face, but that's okay. I don't even care. I also had like a good big cry today because the same reason I was in like a state of flow. Everything was flowing hardcore, and then some woman yelled at me at the DMV, and I just started crying. And I didn't get my license, and it was because I needed to really see that like I can't have control. I can't have control over anything right now because what I'm being. Oh, what happened?